And we're on. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad about yourself.
Pretty good. You're like in California, and I'm pretty sure the weather's hot over there. But
It's super hot.
where in California do you live?
So in NorCal, near Oakland, about 30 miles from Oakland.
Oh, okay, nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm living in Vermont, and right now it's
Okay.
it's trying to stay in like that 50, 60 degree weather. We're starting to get to the 70s and 80s,
Okay.
but right now it's still like not fully transferring to that warm weather quite yet. But I'll take that over like what, 80, 90 degrees?
Man, it's supposed to be it's 80 degrees now, at least in Cali. And man, it's only gonna get hotter. It's only gonna get
Oh my
hotter.
god. Jeez. And
Yeah,
imagine
dude.
it'd be worse in the South. That
Oh
would be
yeah.
it's
You
like
can't escape it. You
LA,
can't escape it.
Phoenix, yeah, Florida.
Well, that's
Those are
dry. So Phoenix is dry heat though.
oh,
If you go in the shade, then you're kinda cool. Kinda.
kind of, but I don't know, but when you're out there, I think it hits harder.
It
Like
does.
Death Valley, that's
Oh, you talking
bad.
hundreds now. That's what you talking.
Oh, you're talking about 130 during the daytime.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Easy.
Have you ever heard of this race called, like, Badwater?
I have not.
Oh god, it's an ultra race. It's a 135-mile race, pretty much the
Mhm.
lowest part of Death Valley to the highest point, and it's one of the toughest ultras out there. There's, like you have to run on the whited l line on the road so your soles
Mhm.
of your shoes don't melt.
That's crazy.
So bad. And just it the best times are usually guys who finish within a day, and
Oh.
those guys, well, those are, like, professional, like, ultra runners, like, some of the
Yeah.
best ultra runners in the world, but I think it's, like, I don't know, I think some people have finished under 24 hours in that race, but
How
it
many
is
miles you said it was?
What's that?
How many miles did you say it was?
135,
135. Crazy.
and you're going up incline and the worst heat possible. Oh,
Couldn't
but
be me.
there's a couple documentaries if you were interested, it's called Running on the Sun. And then
Makes
some
sense.
Hungarian guy who was doing a self-documentary, and he was gonna and of course, he was expecting his goal was to finish 60 hours, but he actually ended up finishing 2nd behind one of the, top ultra runners at the time.
Mm.
So he surprised himself with that finish, but yeah, and I think the only reason why they call it Badwater because at the start of the race, there's just, like, this lake, but it's just so, like, it's gross, and I don't know if it's all the salt evaporation, whatever, but it's just not a very, well cleaned lake, so that's why they call it Badwater. Uh, but and you get the you if you have to take a nap, you take it during the night because 'cause it'll actually get down to 70 during that
Yeah.
time, but you can't rest too long. Like, ultras are very scary. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
I can imagine.
navigation and, especially that one, and then there's no prize money, it's just the pride, just to finish it.
Wow.
Yeah, in a medal if you get if you finish.
Sure. Sure.
Or then I don't know if there could be, like, some sort of I don't think there's prize money, but there's also,
Mm.
like, probably, like, I don't know if there's some merchandise, but people just do it just to say they did it.
It's nuts.
So how's life lately, like, in terms of, the voice acting and, like, any gigs, or are you just auditioning for the most part?
So at the current moment, yeah, auditioning. Right now finishing up a project actually that's a multicast project. So I am one of the I'm the main bad guy. And so I'm one of the casts. It's a multi cast an audiobook. And so yeah, that's been pretty fun finishing that up. But yeah, besides that, auditioning for the future. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, explain, what's the bad guy?
Oh, man. Oh, okay. So the book itself is called The Last Hand, and, so it's basically about a woman who went on a yacht because she's basically, a poker player, and so it's on a yacht, invited by me, the bad guy named Ryan, and so it goes crazy from there because it's not just an ordinary poker game. So
Ooh.
that's yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, so this is good. Oh, I mean, I can kind of predict, but is this gonna be released somewhere?
So,
Like this.
yeah, so yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's gonna be, released, it's gonna be on the Audible and Spotify and anywhere you can find a book.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
interesting. And you call it, what is it called? The Last
The
Hand.
Last Hand.
Ah, I get it.
So,
Oh, so it
yeah, that's
sounds
the one
like,
that
oh man, but you're not gonna spoil it, but I feel like this is gonna be kind of like, if I had to predict, like a Hunger Game type poker game. I don't know.
yeah, you could say that. Yeah, man.
Oh, so
That's the twist, but yeah, it's a fun audiobook for me at least. So, yeah, it was
yeah.
pretty fun.
I feel like playing the bad guy can be fun. I
Yeah.
don't know what it just seems to be like, even though it's dark, but it just seems like it's just more fun to play a villain.
Always. To
Yeah.
me, at least. Just like you said, man, it's always fun to be the bad guy. You don't
Right.
have to be I don't know, it's just you can quote unquote "let loose." I don't know, man. It's,
I
yeah.
I mean, it's just because, like, they just seem more diabolical. Movies I've watched, they seem to have, like, these more, like, great lines in movies or whatever. Like, for instance, if you wanted to play the Joker, I bet you, and, Heath Ledger kinda drove himself nuts playing this role, but he was it just seems like even when you wanna quote the guy, like, in his movies, like, "I believe whatever doesn't kill you makes you stranger," and it's I don't know, it just feels like just more fun, or quoting Bane from The Dark Knight
Yes.
Rises, it just seems more entertaining. You just seem like you can get more into those kinda characters than maybe the typical, not saying good guys are not entertaining, but I'm just saying the bad guys usually just have I don't know, more of a spark. You tend to get into it a little bit more, at least from my perspective.
I think that's just how I think that's like I said, you get to quote unquote "let your hair down," if you will. So that's why I think that is quote unquote more fun. And it's also the direction as well. So I think that it can like I said, let your hair down. That I guess that's the reason why it's so fun. But yeah,
Yeah, because bad guys don't give a crap at all.
exactly.
No, they just, like, keep on, like, or you just, like, usually have this distinct voice or evil king or something to it, or they just pretend they're good, but deep down, like, they're up to something, and you're just
Yeah.
waiting for that moment to, like, especially, like, I don't know how your character works, but he sounds like a character that presents himself good. Like, oh,
Right.
you're on a yacht, you're gonna be having a good time, and
Mhm.
you just have to act that part, acting like you're innocent, and then when like all the bad stuff starts to come out, and then I bet you're like itching to read those parts.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's super fun for me. So yeah, I think it's any part though. I try to when I'm doing the voice acting, even if it's protagonist or antagonist, I still try to bring a unique twist to it. I try to think about why they would say certain things. So, like we were saying that okay, the protagonist can be sort of boring, but but why? Why would they be doing what they're doing? So I try to figure out when I'm reading a book or I personally like audiobooks. I've tried the commercial route. I haven't had much success with the commercials as much as audiobooks. I'll compare it that way. So I kind of carved my lane through the audiobooks. And so when I'm going that route, I try to figure out the why. Why as the person saying what they're saying? What does it mean? Like it's not just words, it's why.
Yeah, because you wanna get deep into the character, and you guys the why, you kinda, like, seem to get more in those character traits, and, I think, yeah, we have, like, I had a discussion with other people on the VAC community, also talk about, like, the character traits and how to get into them, or, like, they would do this. For example, like Dungeon& and Dragons, like, the
Mhm.
past 2 guests talk about it and, like, getting into their backstory and then trying to learn their what decisions they could be making, even though they might turn a corner and maybe change a mind or get influenced by other characters, but it's important just like to ask yourself, why are they like that? Why are they boring? Or what? Or is there gonna be a character, or if like in this story, like if this character is boring, could this moment, like this story, like getting on the yacht, they have to adapt in some way? Could that make them
Mhm.
more exciting at the end? Because you typically you
Mhm.
see a plot where there's a boring character who lives in a shell, but then and under these circumstances, they have to adapt, or like
Yep.
they're the hero when they are not supposed to be the hero.
Yeah.
Oh, for example, there was this movie called Novocaine. Have you heard of Novocaine?
I have not.
Oh, it's actually a good movie. It
Really?
stars Jack Quaid,
Okay.
and it's about a guy who has this nerve disorder where he can't feel pain, and you think like it would be like a superpower, but he lives in paranoia. Right, and
Mm.
so because he's afraid to eat solid foods,
Yeah.
and he's like he has to drink his foods because he's afraid to bite his tongue
Yep.
without him bleeding out.
Yep.
So but then there was this, like and of course, he's kinda like it, but he's very smart with medical stuff because he has time to read all this stuff so that,
Hmm.
like, he knows what to do when he does get hurt without knowing it.
Mhm.
But then this circumstance happened where there's a girl he likes that works on the bank with him, and then these, robbers, like, took the money and took her hostage, and then all of a sudden, he's trying to play hero. Boring, cautious guy has to adapt and has to be a hero when he doesn't need to be, but
Yep.
he chooses to. So that's kinda like one example of your character's like this, but what happens if something change, like, what scenario would that change? Is he still gonna be that, hold back, like, too scared to do stuff, or he's gonna be willing to rescue the girl he likes?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
so
man.
But I think, like I said, I think that's gonna be, if I had to pick, I think that's what the main character is gonna end up doing. Changing perspective, like, I don't know, but I'm very curious now. I'm very curious.
You gotta check it out. You got
Is it really, when is it gonna be released?
so it's being released, soon. It's being released soon.
Okay.
So, yeah.
A couple weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So it's
uh,
gotta go through the, what do they call it? The audible, the audible, what are the process.
oh, you gotta
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
put an account for Audible. I think
Gotta
I
be
can.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. So it's gotta be, approved, going through the process to be approved and everything.
Oh, going to book
By the
club.
time you by the time you hear this, should be out. Should be out.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah,
See, I bet this is gonna be, and sounds like a good book. Sounds
yeah, man.
like it did, like, who written the book?
Say it again.
Who wrote the book?
Garvey T. Avon.
Garvey T.
Yeah,
Avon.
yeah.
Alright, and, any other books that he has written in the past that
Not 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 yet, not currently.
this is, like, the first one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how did you stumble upon this?
So this was actually, so I do, CA&C Video is my company, and so actually, this person reached out to me because I'm starting a CA&C Audio Productions, and so I've done audiobooks, since 2000 and it's 2026, so I've done it since 24, and so since I've been starting my business, the CA&C Audio Productions, I wanted to start that company, and so now this is the first company or the first book under my company, CA&C Audio.
Oh,
So, yeah,
nice.
so how did I find him? He found me. He found me
Oh, okay.
online and yeah, yeah, yeah,
There you
and so
go.
I'm producing the book, and so it's super exciting.
Alright, cool, and I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's like a so you already kinda got some sort of gig, and it hopefully it'll translate.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as the production, I'm trying to, produce audiobooks as well. That's super fun. Of course, still reading audiobooks under not just under my company, but other authors as well. So yeah, so if you search, I have different audiobooks under other authors, of course, but this is the first one under my company, CA&C Audio Productions.
Oh, cool,
So that's
and
why
then
it's super exciting.
so what's the other audiobooks you've done? Or
Oh, let me see. The very first book that I did was a children's book. That was super exciting. I'm trying to remember. It was a superhero story. Oh man. But yeah, that was the very first one that I've done. I have done things like medical books as well. I've done self-help books. I've done um let me see. There has been what was super exciting is that when I was on Audible in 2025 last year, a person reached out to me to read a back backgammon book. So I don't know if you ever heard of the game backgammon, but
backgammon yeah, you can talk more about that after.
yeah, so that was super fun, and then, just but anyway, just different books, and it's funny to me because as I've read the books, I always like to learn certain things, especially when it's a self-help or a different game that I've never played before, things like that. But yeah, I mean, those are the type of books. So self-help, the dramas like, I've read romance, I've read thrillers, and the self-help books, business books. So all of those things have been pretty exciting for me. So that's why I say for me personally, it seems like my lane has been the audiobook. So I'm sticking there.
Mm, and what's the bad gang? What you just
Backgammon.
backgammon.
So uh it's a game that, let me see if I remember. It involves oh man, I'll have to talk with you afterward, like you said. But it's a card game. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, backgammon. That's what it's called.
Alright, but yeah, I mean, it's weird because, like, you can not weird, but it's like you can learn as you're reading these things, and so you're up with the, like, knowledge, and so, like, you had just, like with the self-care and the business
Uh-huh.
books, you're obviously speaking in probably your normal voice, but probably sounds, like, professional,
Yeah.
smooth, and, like props to you, though, because I think audiobooks like, if I felt like I wanted to get into audiobooks, you have to be, like, a clear, concise reader for a long period of time, and it's like but my question is, like, how does that all set up? Do you have, like, breaks in between, like, reads and then just or did you just, like, try to trudge through it all at
No,
once?
man, definitely breaks. I try to do a chapter and then do a break. And the reason because of that is I don't want to. There have been times where I've read a chapter and then had to take a break, and then uh, the reason why I try to prevent that is because all of a sudden you might sound different when you start again. So I tried to do the same chapter at least, and then drink water. That's the key to audiobooks, drinking water, man, and taking breaks. But you don't have to sit down and read the whole book the whole way through. In fact, that's not necessarily encouraged because speaking for a long time, like you say, your throat gets dry, you get tired, and your eyes get tired. Nobody really thinks about unless you're. I mean, even if you're reading on on paper or on the computer screen, your eyes still get tired. So taking breaks is definitely a good thing. So I try to, in order to prevent not sounding differently, I try to say read a passage before or read like if I like the next day I start trying to read the passage, like the last couple of lines beforehand, so I can get my voice warmed up, if you will. Uh, and you are sounding normal, but you still want to add. Uh, the best way of saying it is add interest. You're reading this book, somebody's hearing you read the book. You want to be interesting. You want to sound not overly excited, but you want to sound like you're interested in what you're saying, even though you've never like I said, like a little back getting I never played the game. I didn't really know about it until I started reading about it. And then, there were like another book like SEO. That was another book. I familiarized myself with SEO. You definitely have to familiarize yourself with the different words, the different phrases. If they reference something or a specific technique, you want to make sure you're saying that correctly. So like you say, you're definitely learning during the process, but you definitely want to take the time to do your research beforehand as well. So personally, I like to read the book before and jot down any words or phrases that I don't know to make sure that it sounds correct. So there's different things on I would check a YouTube link or somewhere where somebody's talking about it or saying the word naturally so I can hear how they would say it. And then I usually like to hear more than one person say it to make sure that it's the
Yeah.
correct pronunciation. But yeah, that's usually how I do with audiobooks.
Alright, that's a good process. Probably a lot of, like, navigating, nitpicking, and making sure you get it right, but you're right, a lot of people will pronounce words 2 different ways. For
Yep.
example, like, my last name can be pronounced Bunnell or Bunnell.
Mm.
So
Yep.
so you gotta, like I mean, I guess that wouldn't matter in that retrospect, but, like, in terms of, like, word pronunciation, you just, like you gotta find, like, "Alright, what is the most common way people sound this out?" And then what does it all mean? Yeah. But I think that was what for me, like when I was reading out loud, like you gotta pronounce words well. And
Mhm.
you also, like I said, and that's my like kind of weak point is like continuously reading and sound like it has to have a good flow to it.
Yeah.
And then yeah. And then also, like you said, like if you're gonna read something that like particularly like a self-care book or any like textbook that is labeled kind of boring because most people don't want to read textbooks, but if you're listening to audios, like it can make the difference, I feel like, for some the narrator or whatever to sound like like interested. Like you can hear the sense and maybe that reader or listener can get more into it. If you're gonna like speak in a kind of like a boring like voice, it's just good luck having people's attention. Cause
Mhm.
then you just hear it, you're like, and this was the like, beginning of the Revolutionary War, the Battle of Concord, versus, like, and this was the beginning of the Revolutionary War, that the Battle of
Yep.
Concord, and more add, like, a little, like, suspense in your voice, like, it's about to be even maybe a little bit of music in the background too, I don't know. That usually can
Some
add
people like it, some people don't. So, I try to go. Well, in fact, like I said, well, some people like it, some people don't. So I try to make sure that it's not too much music in the audiobook, and not even that the sound effects are too heavy. I try to make it even keel. The book, it's an audio book, so I'm trying to make it still interesting. So I'm trying to have the people's performance carry the book. Instead of reading the book and saying he said, she said, it's more along the lines of hearing them as they talk. So it's the woman, or in this case, Destiny. That's her name. It's Destiny when you hear the voice actress, and you know what I mean. So
yeah,
that's how. Yeah. So that's how I'm producing the book.
yeah. Yeah, I think audiobooks, though, with music can probably be a little, like, tricky just because, like it doesn't seem to work, but I think it does work with, like, audio stories per se.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like,
Or podcasts. They have like audio drama podcasts and things like that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think it all depends.
yeah, it depends what works, for
Yeah.
example, I listen to the Mr. Nightmare audio stories, which are
Uh
just, like,
huh.
scary, like, supposedly true stories. I don't know if they're true or
Hmm.
not, but there's, like, that creepy music in the background as the narrator is
Huh.
talking, that works.
Hmm.
Because it adds suspense. Just imagine just hearing it in the voice itself, but that music kinda adds that little
Right.
spice to it, that
Right.
creepiness. So, that's your and then actually you just get, I feel like, a little bit more into the story just because that music kinda adds that little layer of suspense to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, um, so audiobooks is your biggest thing. Was there
Yeah.
other interests or just was it just strictly audiobooks?
Well, I did, I started out doing commercials, and so I thought they were fun to do, as far as the commercials goes. Didn't really get much pull to make me stick with it. That's why I'll put it like that. And it's the hardest and the most you'll get the most money when it comes to commercials, or I always say not the most money. You'll get a higher rate than say a audiobook. Not saying that you can't make money during audiobooks. That's the thing too. So I started out with commercials, but I was doing commercials. I did a little bit of everything. In fact, I did commercials, I did dubs, I did let me see, e-learning. That was interesting because with the e-learning, you definitely have to get the right pronunciation, putting the
Yep.
wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. But anyway, yeah, man. So I've tried those, and then I did audiobooks, and it seemed like audiobooks for me, bringing a world to life was what interests me to stay. It's a lot of work. In fact, I would argue that it's more work than commercial. I would argue that it's the most work out of everything, depending on how long the book is. That's my opinion. But at that same time, I think it is uh bringing that world to life is what drew me in personally. So,
I know, I agree with you, audiobooks take a lot more work. To
yeah,
just imagine just reading, like, a 5-hour straight, like, novel, because 'cause I've
yeah,
listened to one time on Audible that was, like, 5.5 hours long.
yep,
I was like, "Oh god." I mean, if you break it up and you can work out smoothly, maybe you can get
yeah.
it done within I don't know, how long does it take? Like, maybe, like, 5 days if you read an hour per day.
Yeah, I mean, so honestly, I would say so if you're interested with anyone interested in doing audiobooks, I would definitely say to start on the low end as far as pages. And usually it goes by word count or pages or word count. The way that and everybody starts out in ACX or Audible. And so they break it down into like they break it down into hours. And what I would say, if anyone's starting out to do less than, just start out with less than 30,000 words. Even 30,000 sounds like a lot. And it can be. You definitely want to figure out if this is even a route you want to go down. You can definitely do an hour a day. Some people, and on average, they would give you about a month to do a book. So if you break it up, don't wait to the last minute. Like you said, break it up 1 hour a day, see if you like it. And you'll learn a lot about yourself. You'll learn about yourself. You'll learn about your voice. You'll learn about your DAW, in this case, what you use to edit with, because you definitely want to be able to make sure you understand how to get those files exactly right for ACX or Audible. So yeah, you'll definitely be learning about yourself. So you do not at the very least your very first book want 100,000 word epic novel. You don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. Nope. Start small.
I wonder if someone did try that
Oh,
and
yeah.
maybe succeeded, but I mean, maybe, but I
Depends on your
highly
definition of success.
it's like, "I
Did they
did it."
finish the book? I guess.
I don't know. Succeeded with, like, good performance, but, I
Yeah.
mean, like you said, there probably a lot of people just jump right into, "Oh, I would love this. This will be great," and then
Yep.
it's like, "Oh my god, what have I
Yep.
got myself into? This is a
Yep.
10-hour book. I can't do it."
Yes. It's crazy.
Do you know anybody that has done that?
Not personally, I've heard stories. I've heard the stories, and I'm like, ugh, I know how hard it is. I have done one 10-hour book. It was called The Game, and that was a thriller novel, and that was pretty yeah, that was long. 10 hours because again, now you say a 10-hour book, it doesn't mean that you read a 10 out for 10 hours and then all of a sudden you're done. No, that 10 hours, you got to think that if you recorded for 10 hours, you got to do at least 3 hours of editing. That's what I like to suggest is what for every 1 hour of voice, you're doing 3 hours of editing. And by editing, I mean it could be I'm not the I'm not the best reader. So I'm doing a lot of ums and well, not ums. I do a lot of mistakes. So I'll say something and then I might flip over my words. Okay, well, I got to start that sentence again. And then not just starting the sentence again, but I got to take the time to see how I want to say a sentence. So if I'm in the performance mode, then and let's say there's two characters talking to each other, I got to make sure that each character has their own voice. So for me personally, I like to make a initial recording of how I'll say uh, a particular person's voice, and we're talking a man and woman too. So with woman, I don't necessarily make a high pitched voice like this, but I want to make it just high enough that you know that it's a woman, not to you know, make it a caricature. I want to just make it just a little bit high pitch that you know it's a woman versus a man. So I don't try to make a cartoon characters or anything, but and like you said, each character has to have their own voice and reason for saying it. So it's kind of like I try to make sure that each character does sound different from the narrator, which it would be my normal talking voice like this. So yeah, all of that takes work and practice and time, and you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, that just further confirms that audiobooks are a lot harder. Like 3 hours of editing for, like, 1 hour segment, like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
dude.
jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
You gotta love it.
I
You
mean,
gotta love it.
unless you're really into the editing part, like, you some people might find it tedious and just, like I can imagine just being tired and just, like, looking for all those, like, alright, that stuff that doesn't make it sound concise.
Yeah.
I bet you it can be frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but, so that was the longest book you've done,
Yes.
but what would you say was it the most complicated or
Usually any sort of not any sort of fiction novel is more complicated, whether it's a romance, thriller, literary fiction. It's yeah, I would say it's the most complicated because of the different if you're doing all the parts. Yes. Um I would say I would say fiction, then medical books
Yep.
than everything else. Cause yeah, I'm trying to I can't remember the name. I've only done about 2 or 3 medical medical books, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now, but those were hard. Those were one of those books where you have to do the preparation beforehand. You definitely have to read it beforehand because, like I said, you definitely have to go and find out how to pronounce the word because if someone's reading this and they're let's say it's a student and they're hearing the book, they know how the words sound. They know what the words mean. I'm just reading it to educate them. And now if I'm saying it wrong, they're gonna be like, wait a minute. This person doesn't even know what they're doing. Why am I gonna read this? And then they do not finish. The DNF is the dreaded word. Do not finish. So you don't want that when it comes to audiobooks. But yeah, you definitely have to prepare.
Yeah, and like I said, if you're willing to put in that extra time to make sure, like, because most people are like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go and read this. This is fine," but then just don't realize you got. I feel like you're gonna find yourself stop backtracking. Like, wait, what's this word?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what's this word? Oh, what does this all mean? Oh, what does this procedure does? Well, I don't understand. And then you gotta
Hmm.
YouTube all these procedures, especially if it's like what? I imagine there's some surgical stuff in there maybe
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. So,
yeah.
and that's what I'm saying with different books, and that's where the preparation comes into play. So that's why I'm saying, like, when you're talking about, oh, I'm gonna read a 10-hour book, and it doesn't just mean that you just read for 10 hours. I'm talking about the preparation as well, because you can do this one of two ways. You can do it up front, read the book, beforehand, like I said, that's what I like to do is just read the book beforehand, or you're just going to be stopping every, I don't know, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes to be like, oh, what is this? Why, why should I say it this way? Or what does this even mean? Why do I care? So that's what I mean when it comes to reading a book, even if it's a medical journal or anything like that. You have to be the one to sound interested. This is a person that's going to be hearing you for hours. And so if you're not even interested, if you don't even, you have to at least sound like you know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You gotta sound intelligent, even though
Yeah.
you might not be the most intelligent on this subject,
Right.
which is that's a skill, honestly.
Right.
That's something I'd never really think about audiobook is, like, you gotta sound like
Yep.
you're an expert,
Yeah.
but you're not an expert. That's called, like, manipulation of everybody's, like, because when you listen to audio, honestly, I don't even think about the person behind the voice. I just think
Right.
about the narration, and I'm just hearing the words.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't even think about how much work it was put in from that person, so, I think you have definitely had, like, a l more because honestly, this is the most in-depth, stuff I've heard about an audiobook, like, stuff I did not know about, even though I could
Yeah.
figure it's a lot of work, but you definitely have put a more, like, description of, like, how that all becomes and how it all works out. And I think it definitely and I figured, like, for me, if I was getting into voiceover stuff, I definitely knew audiobooks would probably not be the best thing for me, but you're good at it, but you the way you describe is like, I do not wanna nitpick everything I read. Which
Yeah. I
which
mean,
honestly, props to you for being good at that all the
thank
time. Jeez. Um, but and like I said, but you probably have read some fun books, though, that
So yeah, so I have read fun. So I would say that the most fun that I've had, again, this was another kids, but it was a kids adventure. And what made it fun, or at least the way that I read it, was it was an adventure book where uh this a kid fell in the hole. Again, I'm trying to remember the name off the top of my head, but I can't remember it. But anyway, a kid fell in the hole. He was just a regular kid, and he went searching. He fell in the hole, and all of a sudden, he went on this adventure where he's fighting monsters. He's scavenging, trying to find weapons. He found a weapon. He's killing monsters and everything like that. So the way that I presented this particular book was that when everything is calm and he's exploring, I'm talking normally, at a normal pace. But then when there's a fight, there's adventure and tension. And now I would have to read faster. And that's how I brought the tension out of this particular book. So when you're hearing it, it's not sound effects per se, but I'm trying to bring a, 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 a tense and adventure to when there's action scenes. And it's sporadically, you know, is sporadically laid throughout the novel as he's going deeper and deeper into the cave, and trying to find a way out, of course. But it's adventure. He's trying to find out what's going on and what's all this. So that's particularly how I did it. Everybody has their method, or they could read it even keel the whole way. That's just the way that I wanted to perform this particular book. I wanted to have fun with it. And like you said, even if we're talking about the most boring, mundane book, again, you want to make sure that you sound interested, because a person that obviously bought it for a reason. So why not have fun with it? No matter how dry that book is, they bought it, they paid you. Why not bring your best? So that's just me.
yeah, good point. I mean, I feel like if I had to do a kid's book, it's a kid listening to it, right? And a kid likes that entertainment, that excitement. I'm sure like kids might not pay too much attention about the steady of the voice, but
Well,
you
maybe
put it
not.
all out for a performance. Why not?
Yeah.
It's like it's a kid's book. You got to have fun with it. Kids like being entertained, and usually like it's a world. Like I said, it's like that world. Kind of sounds like an Alice in Wonderland type feel
Yeah. Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
those Magic Treehouse books. I don't know if you remember those.
Oh. I'll have
Like,
to
they
talk
go in a
that.
tree house, and then they
Okay.
just go on and on an adventure. They either go to the medieval times or the,
Oh, okay.
Egyptians. Like, I never really, like I think I read a few of them, but there was, like, a kid book series called Magic Tree House or something like that.
Okay.
It's just, like, they go in a tree house, and it brings them to a different point of time. So, that kinda
Oh,
reminds
okay.
what the story you described kinda reminds
Yeah.
me. He goes in a hole, he goes to this,
Yep.
like, fantasy world with monsters.
Yep.
So, but I feel like you with a story like that, you gotta bring the enthusiasm.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and kinda like you talk about, like, in terms like animation, right? And I talked this with, oh, what was it? I think it was Megan from Vac. We talked
Okay.
about, like, bringing life to a character and it's when, like, for example, Robin Williams' Genie performance,
Mhm.
like, you feel that enthusiasm, right? And
Yes.
people, like, appreciate that, and that just spices up the movie, right? Like, it could be just dull, boring, like,
Right.
or someone who tries to be the genie but doesn't bring the enthusiasm, so it might make the movie, I think, honestly, a little bit more stale, but you got a guy like Robin Williams who's very charismatic, voicing a character like that. People just sense that, and then therefore that makes the movie better because you
Yep.
brought a charismatic genie to life, which is the right guy for the job anyway.
Yeah, man.
uh, no, I miss that guy a lot though.
Yeah.
From, I mean, 2014, 12, almost 12 years ago. I
Wow.
remember. Like, back then, like, when, we stay in like, we have this place, actually, I'm, like, at this place where there's a pond, we have a motorhome, we stay up there, and I
Mhm.
stayed in the motorhome, the radio was on the morning, and how I found out he died was and it was, like, the every hour on the hour news, like, they present the news every hour on the this
Yeah.
radio station, and then it was like, "Do do 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 do," and it said, "Go!" And it says Robin Williams was found dead in
Eh,
his, like, home, like, "Ah,
yeah.
damn." It's like, what even though, like, you weren't, like you still, like, feel sad just to hear, like, a
Yeah.
celebrity, like, dying and all that, and just especially when you didn't expect it,
Of course.
like, because he wasn't, like, that old. He was probably, what, in his 60s,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I didn't realize he had that much trouble
Yeah.
either.
Usually people yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he had this rare like, this bad form of Alzheimer's that was really messing with his head, and I think he also got diagnosed with Parkinson's, I think,
Mm.
and so and I think he was just trying to really cope with it, but he just could not, and I think he just
Yeah.
finally just it was like and like, he's seems like he's always battled depression, but I think that kinda, like, that disease in his head that just I forgot what the kinda Alzheimer's it was called, but it just really plagued his brain and just messed with his head, and I guess he just couldn't take it anymore. They tried
Mm.
everything, meditation or I don't know if he tried CBD,
Yeah.
but no, it was sad, really sad. I didn't wanna bring out a sad topic, but it's like a guy like that, like, who brought out that performance,
Yeah.
it's like, all the time, and, you watch and of course, you're more curious about him after he dies, so you watch,
Yeah.
like, his old Tommy's like, Jesus, the guy just his brain goes a million miles per hour, and they just said that in his documentary, like, "Come to My Mind," I think that was the documentary,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yep.
so I watched that, but he just will bring it an all-out performance in his stand-up, but then he will just get back in his room, and he's just, like, lays
Yep.
back in his couch like he's depressed, worn out, 'cause he's and I think his saying was, like, I want to be funny and make people laugh because I don't want them to feel how I feel." And I'm like,
Mm.
"Oh, that's so dark, man." Like, oh,
Yeah.
but kinda feel for the guy, but I think that's just the same for any kinda stand-up comedian, but they just bring out that all-out performance because I think they just generally care, or they at least kinda brings them joy in that moment per se. But, what I mean, like, everyone just should aspire to, like, at least go in all out performance
Yeah.
and just bring to life. You know, but like I said, you gotta admire it and all that. And like, and that's how, like, I think people can get in. Like, get inspired by that kinda person is, like, you hear that and, like, "Oh, why can't I do that too?" You know? It's like you said, like, just like, I wanna bring life to the character. I don't wanna just read through it and just be like, "Done, just get my paycheck." I actually heard he took a less paycheck for that role.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he didn't get a lot of because he just wanted to, like, do it for the
Mm,
kids,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So and that's what I'm saying, you gotta have a little care for it. It's not just performing well, but that
yeah.
care, like, I really need to do well. I really wanna make people feel interested and all that. And that's the kind of person you want to, like, hire is someone who's gonna care more versus mass production, like, "I don't care," like, people are gonna listen to it anyway, but
Mhm.
like I said, you feel more for it when you hear that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what's, the interests you've done on the side of voice acting? Or was that your always your career path, or was there other interests?
As far as in general or specifically the audio?
In general, actually.
In general, with the video production. So I started out. Well, my father started the company back in '85, and so I didn't always want to be in the video business, but I just was. And so when my father started, he's retired now, living his best life, and so I have the video business, and of course, audio is 50% of video. So, like I said, in 2024 is when I started really getting interested in doing the audio production. And so that's where I was interested, like, hey man, and the thing about it is that when of course during the pandemic, everybody was at home and then everybody started a podcast. And I was like, well, I didn't want to really start a podcast because I didn't want to start it. I didn't want to do a podcast by myself. That was the first thing. I didn't want to do it by myself. And I was like, I didn't know what I would talk about either. So that's when I started, I mean, I was always interested in doing the voice acting. I was like, well, shucks, man. Well, I mean, the time is now. So, I mean, might as well. And so that's what got me interested in it. And so that's when I started learning about it. And that's when I found the back. So I started learning more and more about it, practicing more, you know, doing auditions and everything like that. And so that's what really got me interested in it. But the video production is what I do, doing events. So we call it life changing events like your graduations, your weddings, your memorial services. We can live stream those events. So that's what I would say that I do. Video production and audio production is what I do.
Oh, so you just go and you stream, like, events like graduations, and then you just, like, send it in to the school and everyone can view it, or you
Yes.
most post it on YouTube or as well?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. And weddings too?
Correct. So yeah,
Ah,
any live event, that's what we do the live streaming and the yes, yes.
oh, cool. I mean, that's still a pretty good cool job.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
still do that, and you still do that aside along with trying to build your audio company.
Correct.
Just
Correct.
go hand in hand, like, it's
I
a
mean, so
multi-business.
that's what got me that's what really got me more interested and passionate about it because it does go hand in hand, like not like it's not like two completely different fields. So that's why it's so exciting for me, honestly.
'Cause you get to still to do 2 things that you
Yes.
love and,
Yes.
like, without, like, sacrificing, like, I wanna add a little extra to my business," because some
Right.
business can do more than one thing, like,
Right.
you can, produce like, for example, like, to say, maybe, like, for me, like, produce a podcast, but maybe also produce v improv voice over audio stories just for
Yeah.
even though it's not a business right now, it's just more so like but yeah, it's like Bunnell and Associates presents a voice over audio. That kind
Hey
of that's
man.
I'm just saying that as an example, but
Yeah, you could do it. It's totally doable instead of like doing like the audio production and then doing bookkeeping. I mean, you can do it. I'm not knocking bookkeepers. I'm just saying they're like way, like the most common thing is that you use a computer, but there's just two different worlds, you know what I mean? So that's what got me interested in it. So yeah.
alright, cool. And what other hobbies have you done besides, video production on the side? Is it just
Ooh, I would say the most hobbies I would say what I'm also passionate about is a martial arts called Muay Thai. That's what,
Oh,
yeah, man,
what is
Muay
that
Thai.
from, what country did that originate from?
Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Ooh, Muay
Yeah, yeah,
Thai.
yeah. So the study of the 8 limbs, the 2 fists, 2 elbows, 2 knees, 2 feet. And, they call it the 8 limbs. And I love it because at the base of any martial art, it doesn't matter what martial arts you take. At the base of it is really about confidence. You learn about yourself, your body, your mental. You learned so much. Like when you go from not being able to throw a kick at all to throwing a roundhouse, you're like, wow, I have practiced and I've done the discipline. I've done everything to be able to do that. And now look, I can do a kick over my head or whatever your goal is. You started from nothing and now you can do something. That right there is progress. That right there is confidence. You're building it just from that. So I love Muay Thai because of that fact alone.
Yeah, well, I think that that's what most cases people learn how to fight just because they lack confidence, like or they get bullied, so they
Yeah.
just learn how to defend themselves, but then
Mhm.
it's more than just about that. It's what you
Yeah.
just described as the self-confidence, and they just people don't like to feel weak, you know? But the thing is with, any martial arts, some people just go in there and just be like, "I just wanna learn how to fight. I wanna learn how
Yeah.
to beat people up," but that's not the true purpose. It's like my brother always says, "The first step to fighting is avoid the fight."
Yeah.
Yeah, just but then if you have to, first of all, avoid the fight. How can you tame the situation where a fight's not gonna break out where you don't have to use it? But unfortunately, then what's the next step? Like, for instance, people raise their voices, right? Like, don't raise your voice because it just intensifies the conflict. Like, someone's starting
Yeah.
to yell in your face, like, whoa, whoa, man, let's like calm down. Like, well, let's set this story out instead of just like come back at them with a much louder voice. And then just that just gets the testosterone rolling. And you know how
Yeah.
guys like to do, just want to prove their worth in fighting, but that's kinda like what martial arts teach you, is not about the fighting, it's about the confidence building in
Yeah.
yourself and having it as a way to not just protect yourself, but protect others, but also you gotta learn the patience and learn about it's not used to just go looking for a fight, it's avoiding the fight.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, but I mean, I never learned martial arts all that much either, but I mean, my brother, he
It
he was a Marine. He learned Marine Corps martial
Yeah.
arts and he taught the basic moves. I was pretty much a test dummy a lot of the times. Where you like go out in the hand, you just grab the hand, the pressure point, you twist, like, oh, dude. It's like, don't go hard, don't go hard. Like
Yeah.
what he goes a little hard, like this. But yeah, he says, yeah, if you twist the hand, your body's gonna want to react and avoid
Yeah.
your hand getting broken. Those basic maneuvers
Yeah.
anyone can learn. But again, it just still hurts, man. Or you're just like the basic grappling moves, like if it's saying someone's like on top of you, right? But you get their legs like this high and then you get them like pinned right between you, like your legs are
Mhm.
like, and then you can actually control them. They're wasting energy and
Yeah.
you got them locked in. So it's stuff you need to think about even when you're on the ground.
Yeah.
But I mean, one thing I like actually learned about the history of like martial arts, where like the big guy, the big swirly boxer would usually win. But I think of when I learned UFC one, when
Mhm.
back then it was this style fighting versus this style fight,
Mhm.
where Royce Gracie,
Mhm.
I forgot what the guy's name was, but I think he had more of a boxing wrestling background,
Mhm.
and he was much bigger than Royce Gracie. But Royce Gracie pretty much had control over him, and and then there's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But then all of a sudden, when people saw that, people just got into that. It's like, wait a
Yep.
minute, but it brought the little guy could win the fight,
Right.
or like that brought confidence and
Yeah.
transpired to a lot of people to try something like that.
Mhm.
But I found that really interesting, and then it started to develop. to more of like what you see today is every fighter is a killer. Like they learned every single
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's just so interesting how it just transpires from what kind of looked like the UFC was probably gonna fall off until I think Dana White bought it and then China like made it to what it is today. I think he had a
Mhm.
plan because he saw the potential in it. It's like I don't know how like it transpired. Like if you're gonna be a good MMA fighter, you can't just be good at one discipline anymore. But I guess it was like I said, it everyone wants to see who's the toughest kid on the street is or
Mhm.
who's got the better fighting style. So it was kind of fun at first to see that, and I know a lot of people back then didn't like it because it was a lot more because boxing is more control, like with the hitting and all that. But this was like more like grudge match, and
Yeah.
people this is not suitable for people, but
Yeah.
people tend to love it and like to see like the wrestler go up against the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, but let's see how the
Yeah.
wrestler does next time. Like, all right, I gotta learn. Now he's got to start learning the moves or learning how to avoid them. And then everyone starts thinking more about like the different fighting styles. How do I avoid getting into this pin by Royce Gracie? Or how
Yeah.
do I avoid getting to the ground? Or how do I avoid getting into a striking match with someone who's very good at striking?
Yeah.
But I like that evolution of the fighting style, but like I said, like, I think fighting is, like, I think they're, like, the most in shape people or
Yeah.
because you have to learn how to, like, not just lift weights or spawn, you gotta do the endurance work because 'cause you're gonna be, like if you're gonna
Mhm.
go a full on, like, what? T if, a typical championship fight is what, 5 rounds? 5 minutes
Oh,
each?
yeah. Yeah, 5 5-minute rounds. Yep.
Yeah, typically 3, but on a main event, it's like a
Sure.
5 rounder, and, like, gee, you're
Yeah.
getting a grudge match with, like, because you need to have that endurance up. And this is just like I'm a runner, it's not just the running endurance because 'cause you're, like,
Right.
constantly, like
Right.
especially if it's like a grappling, wrestling movement, you
Yeah.
gotta, like, make sure that you're upholding because when I, like, try, like, back then wrestle my brothers, it just feel like you're sprinting uphill. It's like equivalent of
Yes.
sprinting uphill.
Yes.
You're huffing and puffing like
Yes.
you are running up a hill. So,
Yeah.
it's good exercise, but also it can just get you hurt really bad if you don't know what you're doing.
Sure.
So, when did you start Muay Thai?
In 2015. Yeah, about 2015 is when I started.
Yeah,
I've been doing that, yeah, ever since. It's been awesome. I love it. I love everything about it.
and what got you into it?
Street Fighter.
Street
Come on
Fighter?
now. Come on, man. We were all kids. We love Street Fighter. You see Sagat. Come on now. That's how it started. And then there was that's how it started. And then there was a martial artist called Tony Jaa. The movie that he did
Oh,
was
the
Ong
actor.
Bak.
What's it called?
Ong Bak is the first movie he did.
Oh,
And when I saw Ong Bak, I was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's start learning this." So that's when and then he made 2, 3, he made, The Protector. Watch all those movies. They're all awesome. Ong Bak 1, 2, and 3, The Protector, then he was in, Fast and Furious, later on, and but yeah, man, it's Ong Bak is what started it for me. That was
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, I bet. Like,
Yeah.
and I think he was also in the last Expendables movie. I think that
Yep.
was
He was
yeah,
in The
Expendables
Expendables.
4.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So,
awesome.
no, those guys are crazy. Like, yeah, Chuck Norris, rest in peace. And
Yeah.
then like Bruce Lee too. I mean, Bruce Lee never fought like competitively. But
He
he,
never fought in sanctioned fights, I'll put it to you
yeah,
like that.
but people said that he was deadly. He could
Yeah,
hold fights, but people wanted us to actually see like a lot of people said that the Chuck Norris Bruce Lee famous fight was actually like real, but I don't believe that. I think it was pretty
well,
scripted, but
yeah, it's a movie. I
it's
mean,
a movie. But it was an iconic fight
yes,
scene.
yes,
Everyone talks about like, oh, this was not done back in the day. They gave themselves each chance to go warm up and all that, and but yeah, but Bruce Lee though, like the things he was able to do, like the 1 inch punch, the
yes.
fingertip push ups, It's like, "No, I don't care if he hasn't fought in a real fight." It's you
Right.
don't wanna mess with a guy like that, that
You're
just,
right.
he
Right.
can already think about different ways to how to, like, kill you if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and there's guys like, what, Jackie Chan and, oh, Chung Yun Fat? I kinda forgot
Okay.
about Chung Yun Fat. Remember Bulletproof Monk, I think he was
Mhm.
in?
Mhm. Mhm.
I
Mhm.
never seen this movie, but I think he was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon too.
Oh, okay. You haven't seen that movie or
I
you
haven't
haven't
seen it, but I knew he was in it.
Okay.
He was
Okay.
kinda like one of the yeah, he's kinda now, like, off the radar, but he was kinda like one of those
Yeah.
popular, like,
Yeah.
Asian fighting karate movie stars back then, Chow Yun-fat, and then, who else? Jet Li!
Yeah, man. I was
Yeah.
wondering how you could forget about Jet Li, man.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can. Jet Li and he was also an expendable, but, like, Kiss of the Dragon, I seen that one.
Yeah.
Kiss of the Dragon, and The One.
Mhm.
Yeah, I watched those movies, but even though you watch them today, like, "Oh god, that is so fake CGI," or whatever, but, and, Romeo Must Die.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. I was like,
So
"Why do you call it Rome?"
my personal favorite actor besides Tony Jaa is, Donnie Yen. That's my personal favorite.
Which one was he in?
He was in let's see. So the latest movie he's been doing a lot of, Chinese movies, but he was in, uh, what is it? Was he in Monkey King? No, that wasn't, let me see. His most famous movie would be Ip Man, if you've seen any of the Ip Mans. There's like 4 of them.
Oh, like, which one? I seen the one with
There's Ip
Timothy
Man 1,
Olyphant.
2, 3, and 4. He's like, yeah, you got it.
Oh, he was in all of them?
Yeah, he was in all of them. But then they started going off, branching off and doing other movies. But, yeah, Ip Man, IP, Ip Man 1, 2, 3, and 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Like
Yeah.
the based on the video game Hitman.
Based off of, Bruce Lee's teacher.
Oh, I thought you were talking about, the video game, like, based off the video game. Oh, Bruce Lee's see, I
Yeah,
can
Ip
see it
Man
here.
is Bruce Lee's teacher. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay. See, I got confused there.
See, now you gotta watch them. Now you gotta watch all 4 of them. See,
Oh god.
you gonna learn
Alright.
something.
So I could, like, watch that. So, what years did they came
Those are
out
his
in?
those are his most popular those are what made him famous, I would say. But he's been making movies since the '80s, so, but, that's what made him most popular. Oh, there was another question that you had. What did you say?
No, I was just asking I was just confused about, like, the Hitman one. The Hitman, like, the difference between, because I thought you were talking about the other Hitman based off the video games, which
Oh,
was,
you
like,
talking about no, not Hitman. No, no, no.
ah,
IP. Ip Man.
Hitman.
Yeah,
Oh, see,
yes.
that's where
Ip
the
Man.
confusion I thought you were saying
Yeah.
Hit. Okay.
No, not
No,
Hitman. No.
Hitman, alright.
Ip Man. Yes. Yes.
And when was those made?
Oh, shucks. Those were in the 2000s. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those were that's when he was made. And then of course, yeah, like I said, that's what made him famous. He was in other movies. He was also in his latest movie, well, his his latest movie, latest popular movie was John Wick 4.
Oh, was
Yeah.
he which one was he?
The
The
blind guy.
Yeah, okay. Jeez, yes. I watched
That's
that
Donnie
movie
Yen.
a couple of
Yeah.
times. No, I like that character. Oh,
Yeah.
so now you got me interested.
You should be. You
Oh,
should be.
yeah.
Watch
No,
all of
I
his
like
movies.
that
They're all good.
scene where he's just, like, eating noodles when there's a gunfight, and he's just like, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna casually find this and put 'em on." So, like, oh
He's
my
that
god,
good.
no, that was a good character for sure. Oh, what was his name again?
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen.
Yes.
Alright. Well, dude, the John Wick movies are, like, stellar.
Yes.
Are probably the best action franchise, in my opinion. At least,
In
like
my opinion as well.
yeah, like, it just everyone would say, like, "Oh, this is so cheesy because it's based off of killing, like, a revenge of killing his dog," but
It's
they
the best.
really the movie did a good job of, like, the meaning behind it, like, that
Yeah.
was his last gift from his wife that died, like, that was his grief, and they took that away from him, and there was no way he was gonna let those guys get away with it, but unfortunately, it turns into a sequence of
Yeah.
a future movie franchise, and then he gets back in, and then a guy wants him to do a task for him, which he was up to no good, and then it just on got one after the other and after, and now, um, I did watch Ballerina, and that was pretty good. I wonder if they're
Not
gonna
nearly as good as the others, but sure.
it's still good. I think it's
It's
still
still
I
good.
have to rewatch it because I felt like I
Yeah.
was a little, like, I zoned out a bit, but I wonder if they're gonna make the 5th one.
No,
Even
they
though they said
definitely
John
will.
Wick 4 died, but I don't know if he's dead.
No, he's definitely well, no, they're not gonna make another John Wick, I doubt that, but they're definitely gonna continue that franchise
Yeah.
for sure.
They did, The Continental.
Yep, which was awesome.
I like that one,
Mhm, mhm.
but, uh but I like the backstory for sure,
Yeah.
but Mel Gibson, though, I don't know about, the way his accent, though. He seemed like a New Yorker that had a lisp, like but I was like, "Oh, but he does play a good villain," but I don't know if he had to make it didn't sound intimidating enough for me. I don't know. Or maybe, it's good, "Oh, okay, this character doesn't sound intimidating, but he is intimidating."
Yeah.
It's certainly his actions his actions were certainly for instance, what was that one scene where he kills this guy who works at the hotel because he was gonna go off to music school, right? And he kills him, and you
Mhm.
don't know why. And then who's this the guy that was in charge of the counter, like, "Mr. Wick, good to see you again," his younger
Yeah,
version self, and
yeah.
then he, saw that he killed the guy, and it's "Why did you kill him?" And it's "'Cause he stole something." What he was gonna steal? He was gonna steal you, because he was trying to convince him to come with him to the music school. He was gonna try to take
Mhm,
you.
mhm.
But, uh but yeah, that was, one of those, dark moments. Alright, Mel Gibson plays a good villain. Doesn't sound
Yeah,
intimidating, but he has that outburst.
yeah, yeah,
Alright, but I mean, it was a good origin story. You gotta know how that all came to be. It's just the reason why John Wick is good. Even my mom kind of likes it just because of the whole concept of everyone's pretty much a hitman and the rules of the hotel
yes.
is very interesting. Like no business done on grounds, which comes into play at the end of chapter 2, which leads to another
Mhm.
continuous story of John Wick trying to avoid every hitman is trying to kill him
Yeah,
and then trying to defeat the table once and for all after 4. So I think they did a good job of building off one story after another. Like first it's vengeance for the dog, then he gets forced to be back in to do a task, but then that task leads to him killing a guy that just was up to no good, but unfortunately had to kill him at the hotel, which leads to him getting hunted down, which leads to him defeating the table. So I like that order sequence. And
yeah,
Ballerina was just like a spin-off, and the Continental was just kind of like an origin. I think people just wanted to know how did that whole world came to be. So I
yeah,
think that, like I said, I think it was just a well done, and Keanu Reeves though was the right guy for the part because he knows martial arts,
yeah.
and of course, yeah, I think he had though still 4 or 5 stunt doubles.
Mhm.
I think so, which he bought them all Rolex watches, which I like to hear. Like he bought them all that gift, but I imagine with a role like that, you're gonna need multiple people to do
Oh,
the
yeah.
dirty work for you.
Oh, yeah.
Stunt people, oh my god, I don't know how much they get paid a year to do that job.
Uh, I'm not sure. I guess you can always say not enough.
No, well, certainly because you can get easily hurt or
All the time.
whatever all the time, and they probably still go through with it. But whatever just makes the movie work. But I know Tom Cruise does his own stunts, but that
Yeah,
can come back and backfire because he hurt himself really bad
they always do.
on one of the he tried to jump and then his
Mhm.
ankle, you could see the video, his ankle and oh god, and that whole
Yeah,
production. I don't know which Mission Impossible was that,
yeah,
but that's the risk of having your star actor doing his own stunt double, even though he can do them, even though it does sound badass, but probably just safer just to let the
Yeah,
professionals do it, even though you
yeah.
can say Tom Cruise was a professional. But I mean, I like though that, so, Dumbo, that movie, what was it called? Oh, shoot. What was it called? It had Ryan Gosling in it.
Uh,
Oh, I can't think of it. I'm gonna have to look it up, but it had Ryan Gosling, but he just played he plays a stump double, a stunt man.
oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, 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 yeah. I can't remember the name of that movie either,
Oh, what
but I
was
know who
it?
you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Like, stunt man.
that was a fun movie. I forget the
No,
name of
I
it, but
liked it.
that was
I
a
I
fun
mean,
movie.
I
Yeah,
didn't think I was gonna be into it, but
yeah,
that was, like, kinda like a mystery, um, what was it? The Fall Guy, alright, The Fall
yeah,
Guy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Right,
There you
yeah.
go.
Well, he was the Fall Guy because he, like,
Correct.
'cause you end up, like, finding out that the actor actually sabotaged his career by messing with that line, and he was gonna take the fall for a crime he didn't commit, but he was just but I think that was a fun movie. I like that scene where, oh, did he accidentally take a drug and he was seeing unicorns and all that? It's like, the unicorn wears off within an
Yeah.
hour. But that was good. So any kind of, like, other, like, besides Muay Thai, like, what have you been always into, like, the movie industry per
Yeah,
se?
I mean, yeah, yeah, I would say that. Yeah, that's where that's what I've liked. That's what I've stayed in. That's the lane that's yeah, I've stayed in. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm. And then, like, obviously, I can tell you were into those classic kung fu movies, but,
correct. Of course.
like, was action always the go-to, or it was just other
Oh yeah.
nothing else?
Oh, not really. I mean, once you see Jackie Chan, see, the first martial arts I saw was actually the first one that I saw was he was in the what is he fighting in New York? It was the Bronx. It was like Rumble in the Bronx. Rumble in the Bronx? Rumble in the
Ooh.
Bronx. I forget. I think that was the very first Jackie Chan movie I saw. Then I went back and started watching. I was like, "Oh, snaps, who is this guy?" So I then started watching all of his previous stuff and, from yeah, and then him, Jet Li from, like, the '80s, Sammo Hung, I started watching all that, but I think I found out was, yeah, Rumble in the Bronx, I think is the very first movie that I saw, and I was like, "This is amazing. Give me more."
Yeah,
So, yeah,
like, I wanna see
yeah,
more action,
yeah,
just give me all that.
yeah, yeah.
And, but for me, like, the best like, for me, like, in terms of, like, action was, like, getting into Rambo, like,
Okay,
that
yeah,
whole,
yeah.
like, warfare, um oh, what else? Oh, actually, I didn't really get into this franchise until, like, college. Die Hard.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, yes. Actually, like, that was, like, a legit the first 2 were no, actually, the first 3 were g actually, no, all of them were good except for the 5th one. I think the 5th one kinda the 3rd one was good, just the ending just kinda sucked. It just kinda ended abruptly, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
they just see the helicopter get caught in a wire, and then all of a sudden, like, "Oh, I'm gonna call my ex-wife call my wife." "Yeah, you go do that, man." Like, that's how the movie ends like that. I
Yeah,
feel like they coulda ended better, but in terms of, like, the journey in that movie where they're trying to solve this guy's puzzles and all that, that was kinda like the interesting take, but the 4th one was good, and the 5th one, I don't know, it was okay, but in general, that was I think, a action movie series that just kinda, like, hit well for the most part. Again, like, he is a cop, like, going back, like, alright, he's a cop that just, does a normal thing in New York, and then he has to be a hero when no one like, even though, like, he's a hero because he has to be type of
yeah.
guy. Um, but I think, what else is Commando. I'm surprised no one made a sequel on Commando.
Mm,
like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That
yeah.
was, like, actually one of the first I think that might have been the first Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I watched
Mm,
before, like, Terminator. 'Cause, like, I for some reason thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was the strongest man on earth because you see him carrying that huge log and I never seen biceps look that big because I was just
yeah,
a young kid, of course, I never, like, opened the world of, like, people doing
sure,
strongman competitions, all that, but I
yeah.
thought, like, "Oh, he is the strongest guy in the world," but he was just on steroids, but it's like, "Cool, yes, they go it here. You want to pump these muscles here." Uh, but
Yeah,
like, literally, that was, like, the first, like obviously, I was not exposed to, like, the huge muscles, so that was a huge shock to me, like, when he's carrying
yeah.
that log, I was like, "Geez, those are big biceps." Like, "Oh, he's gotta be the strongest man in the world."
Mhm.
But realizing that he wasn't he was just, a model slash like, he did those
Sure.
bodybuild
Competitions,
pumping
yeah.
I never seen this documentary, but someone told me he was
That's a good
kinda
one.
getting Lou Ferrigno's head, like, "Oh, no, you gotta do it this way. You're doing it wrong, yes." Like, how everyone was trying to, like, get in each other's head just to be the most, like, what was it called? Strongman? Not strongman, bodybuild? I forgot what it
Yeah.
was called.
Most aesthetically pleasing.
The most aesthetically
Yeah.
pleasing
That's what those
while
competitions are.
juicing a little bit.
Well, I mean,
And it got him a career, I guess. Like, it got Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, which forever, like, I did not realize, like I don't know why because when I was watching it as a kid, I never, got a sense, like, who the guy
of
was
course,
or
nobody
what,
thought about that.
like and then till, like, oh, Lou Ferrigno, he was the Hulk. I never seen him the Hulk. I never known he was the Hulk. Like, he was like, I was assuming maybe it was Bill Bixby, like, dressed in a costume. I don't know why I
Mm,
thought that, but as a kid, I never thought of that stuff. Like, no, it is a
yeah,
bodybuilder looking
yeah,
dude,
yeah,
like, painted green with, like,
yeah,
fuzzy, like oh, but yeah, you gotta admire them, even though you, like, look at me, you, like, wanna turn into a Hulk, you wanna be like, "Yeah, I wanna be that intimidating," but then you look back and it's like, "Oh, this is very cheesy," as you watch it today, but you gotta still kinda admire, like, what they had to work with in, like, the late '70s, early '80s, like, alright, but you gotta give that kind of appreciation.
yeah.
Um, so, I think this is about, like I don't know what else you wanna, like, say, but I know you had to get going around, what, 3 o'clock in your time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you wanna wrap this up?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Alright. Well, I appreciate your time, and I hope to have you back on here, and good luck with the, book. Yeah, let me know when that book comes out, and I wanna
Alright.
listen to it for sure.
Definitely.
Alright. Alright, and, yep. And other than that, I'd love to have you back on here soon, and thank you for being on here.
I highly appreciate it.
Alright. You take care.
Thank you.
Bye.